Everything is as it should be, or else it wouldn't. Worry takes the beauty out of your experience. All has been well. God has been great. I've been blessed. Since I came back from Peru, I haven't turned on the extra beast, utterly blissful mode of divine Ra. Many things, however, have transpired since then. I see how God is working in my life. I'm beginning to understand the lessons and the way in which I can directly access a force or force field or the spirit realm or God or something that operates invisible to the untrained eye. I have developed the foundation for how I will establish myself in this new paradigm I've entered. The message, has been crawling up my spine every moment of every day. That uncomfortable chill that makes you quiver at the thought that you are not and have not been doing what you know it's in your best interest to do. That feeling of embarrassment, shamefulness, and hopefulness that I've had to succumb to my entire life ends today. I'm no longer the same Rashawn Miller. I officially declare that I am shedding my old skin and turning into the God on earth I was meant to become. Today, I take the kingdom back that my Creator left for me. I expel, repel, rebuke, rescind, return, and completely reject all behaviors that I have exhibited in the past. From this day forward, I will walk into my newfound light and glory, and that light and glory is the kingdom of God. I control my mind, therefore I control my creation. My creation equals my life. I will begin making the hardest decisions that matter, the harder decisions that matter, and that help me move in the direction I desire to. I'm changing as drastically as the difference between light switch being on and off. I was off my whole life, and God flipped the switch. I'd like to record how this very moment came about. It was divine. So it's been 9 weeks since I've been back. And even though the business has been doing great, I wasn't doing anything extraordinary or impressive. And I knew deep down that I was getting lazy, and it was eating me up, causing me to adopt a lazy mentality in other areas such as physical and mental exercise. I was unhappy but unwilling to decide to change. I was holding on to previous fears, beliefs, programming, ego, mind chatter, and my own insecurities, all because I was still stuck in that reality. I wanted to be done with it, and a way out of that sad reality, which was eating my soul. And then tonight, out of the blue, I had the inkling to sit down and meditate, so I did so. I lit the altar, candles, sat, and let my mind go. Almost immediately, I felt like I was being sucked into the sky or into the one thing it felt like. I could compare it to how a piece of dust must feel when getting sucked up by a vacuum extension piece. But anyway, I gave in to the urge to want to believe that what I was experiencing was unreal or impossible or not actually happening. For about the first 2 seconds, and I felt it slipping away. So I immediately ceased all thoughts and fully relaxed and just gave in because I knew that if I kept denying and rejecting this experience, then it would cease. And once I gave in, it was the most beautiful, non-chemically induced psychedelic experience of my life. I visited what people call heaven, nirvana, samadhi, etc. And it seemed so beautiful and so beautiful and welcoming, and like everything you'd want a paradise to look and feel like. All the beings were beings that had made it here because they figured out how to master the game of life. They all were filled with so much love and happiness. They were all, quote, enlightened. It felt like being in an environment with the best of the best that the universe had created. It felt like anyone that had not achieved the level of understanding that these beings did would not suit well in such an environment, and therefore heaven is open to all, but reserved for the ones that are able to connect all the dots and realize that the kingdom of God is, has, and always will be with them. As these beings began communicating with me telepathically, they were telling me that I was on the right track and that because of my seeking for knowledge, they have been seeing to it that my professional and personal life are flourishing. And they showed me how they set up circumstances so that opportunities arise from what seems to the naked eye out of thin air. They reminded me that the more I seek, the more I meditate, the more I understand, the more that will be given to me. They kept stressing the importance of asking, practicing, and visualizing. They want to help me excel, but they can only give me back what I put in. At some point, I realized that all the beings there had one thing in common. They did not fear death. The key to the game is to overcome your fear of death, and to do so while not being under the influence of any mind-altering substance. Once you escape the fear of death, you never die. And that's the secret. So, this beautiful experience made me decide to do all that I can to become the best version of myself. I know for sure from this day on that God will always have my back, and that all that is best to happen will happen. And if I die in the process, then great, because I will hopefully return to the one source. Today starts the 5th chapter. Signed, I am you. Peace.